Let's say, hey, good luck and have fun to our opponent. You are a Lurrus deck. I have a Fury hand. Seems pretty good. Obviously, they might have some disruption. They might have some discards. Some Lurrus decks will be. This might just be Hammer Time, and our hand's great for Hammer Time. I'm not even thinking about the Barbarian necessarily. Oop, cancel. 19 days in the bush, ready to rest for a few. Ah, okay. So there'll be more deploying in the future, huh? Well, we all got to rest from time to time. I'm sure especially those in military too. We all need rest. Dragon. A little bit of Darcy action from our opponent. I think we're very happy to just play Stomping Ground, say go. Now remember, I don't really like to go for it immediately if I can help it. We know that they're not the Murktide builds, so there probably won't be counter magic from our opponent. You never know. It's probably not much. The most they'd play is a couple counter spells. They're not going to play as much permission as Blue-Ed Murktide. Do you want to play this instead? No, we probably still just want to play the Stomping Ground. Yeah, that's not good. I've heard bits and pieces about forest fires. It's a really dry season. Some people like to say it's, global climate change. I'm not a climate scientist. I'm a mechanical engineer. That was never my study. So I kind of have to defer to the specialists on that, whether or not it's, Uh-oh, they do have an Inquisition. That's really not good for us. There was no opportunity for me to start to try to combo off, and we really don't have enough permanents anyway. Barbell Boa with the raid party of 10. Thank you so much, Barboa. I appreciate that. I'm not sure why my notification didn't go off, but I do see your raid for 10, so thanks so much, friends. Yeah. So we're going to take our Shardless Agent with that Inquisition of Kozilek, and things are looking pretty bad for us now. I mean, not terrible. We have a red card for the Fury should we want to kill the DRC. Maybe I should have killed it earlier. I thought about it. I always feel so bad, though, to go down 2 cards just to kill one with Fury. You really want to be killing multiple. As an ecology major, can confirm there's a link between it all. That doesn't blow my mind. So I'm on the engineering side of things, so Oh, bonkers with the tier 1 gifting to Eyelash, Sidna, an Honest Thief, the Enduring Idealist. Hey, what's up, Enduring Idealist? I thought you were streaming. What's up, brother? Wow. Such generosity. Such wow. My goodness. If you guys are wondering why it's Jeskai Ascendancy, we used to play a lot of Jeskai Ascendancy combo on this stream, and that's what I decided to go with. Thank you so much for this, Bonkers. Thanks for all the support, the hype, giving everybody else tier 1 subs, and yet you didn't take one for yourself. But thank you so much for that. You actually just reminded me that I don't have our music going, and I'm going to fix that. I think we're just playing Khalni Garden, say go. Wow, so exciting. Jeskai Ascendancy is hype. There's been an updated build of Jeskai Ascendancy. It's just not good. Gosh, they're still going. My goodness. We must have discipline. We must have the discipline. Alright, once fire season's over, you'll sub yourself. Ah. Thanks, Bonkers. Fragilities with the follow. Welcome to the Brew Crew. Thanks for that. And all our new subs, I'm interested. You guys got to tell me what you're playing in Modern or in Magic. We've been a Modern stream for a few years now, and maybe that's been to my detriment. The 2 formats I played the most in the past were Modern and Legacy, almost an even amount, an even split, and a lot lately I've just been jamming Modern. This Inquisition is going to take our Barbarian. But we need more permanents though before I could, like, even if I had a Cascader in my hand, which I don't, like we wouldn't want to go off with only 5 permanents. Like you want 6 or more is the ideal spot. Legacy's kind of medium right now anyway. Yeah, I mean, and we've dabbled into vintage as well on this show. It's all Delver all the time. All the time, it's Delver. Oh wow, we drew an Outburst. I wish I had a red card because this wombos with Fury. I mean, they could have a Drown in the Lock. I wouldn't put that past my opponent to have Drown in their hand right here. Maybe we don't go off yet. Maybe I force them to either have a third, like, Inquisition. I feel like if they're dumping Inquisitions with their baubles, that means that they have the Drown in the Lock. Swing for 0. Maybe I should. But now I'm hurt by dashed in Ragavan, right? Whereas I could block with a plant. Okay, now they don't have Drown in the Lock. I think I go off right here because I'm thinking about Drown in the Lock. I don't have another Cascader in my hand anyway. They have one more burn that they want to spend on my plants. Ooh, piece of candy. Guys, we get to... Oh, cancel. We put this on the bottom. We get to blow up their Dragon Rage Channeler. This is a juicy hit. We hit all 6 of our permanents. Like you do. You guys like the classic, I'm going off in my end step? Alright, they had enough. They've had enough. Okay, so this is where it's really excellent that I've got the ley lines. We get to bring those in. If we bring in Rockerix, I'm fine slimming on Dwellers and Glimpse a little. If we do that. I like another Fury. That would be good. We don't need to haste off. Now, if I have Rockerix, I do kind of want to keep the Temur Ascendancy because they're a bit of a wombo. It gives the Golems haste and also we draw cards. If we want a better fight over any hate that they're going to have after board, I don't think that... If they might have like a couple Drown in the Lock, we would want these pieces first. Rug Ascendancy Spice. It is spicy. I don't think I'd play it without the generals. I don't think I want to be on the general plan here. I mean, maybe we should just because I don't know what they're up to, but I feel like when I bring in ley lines, that's a lot. Like, I can't have all of our artifact hate and the ley lines and the Furies. I guess if there's a Cascader I can cut, it's the... Not the Borderpost, the Ardent Plea. This is my 24th mana source. This also generates a Golem, which is why we're messing around with Borderpost. Yeah, I can't have all the things. I mean, I could try to squeeze in the first General Rockerick. I think we could play like the first copy. This is 64 cards though. Could cut like Spyros, but Spyro's really grindy. Maybe they'll have Graveyard Hate for us. But let's cut one more Dweller. I'm not gonna go below 3 Glimpse. I mean, what am I trying to get down to? Am I trying to play these? Is that what I'm trying to do? I feel like I don't want them. If I already have all these other things in, I feel like I just can't have this engine in. I feel like I'm already cutting Spyro. Like, I'm just trying to get the ley lines and the Furies in. That's really what I want in this matchup the most. And I feel like we have to Glimpse to win this battle. They're Grixis colored, so I'm not sure that the General would live. Against decks that I assume have good removal for General, we'll keep this hand. We could mulligan for Leyline, but I think this hand's pretty stock, pretty chock full of action. Like, even if they need like triple discard for this hand to be taken up, dismantled. They might have it. I mean, we won game 1. We'll go another game. Maybe we'll change up our configuration a little bit. That was super hype, bonkers, for you to just come up in here and gift a bunch of folks. So what were we talking about forest fires. That was an interesting discussion. Well, it looks like they don't have their Chalice on 0. Not yet, anyway. Maybe they have a Void Mirror. Void Mirror also turns off Fury, by the way, so that's a bit unfortunate. For that reason, if I had to choose between the two, I'd rather see a Void Mirror than I'd rather see a Chalice on 0 than I would a Void Mirror. Let's just go get our Triome here. Let's have nice mana. We're gonna sift here. Make some permanents, pass the turn. Make some permanents, pass the turn. Make some permanents, pass the turn. So what are you guys up to on this fine Tuesday? Alright, you got fortunate. I got fortunate making money on a deployment. What's the point of having extra money if you can't make life better for everyone around you with it? That's a great attitude, Bonkers. What is the point of life if you can't make others benefit? That's true. Isn't that what like currency is supposed to denote, by the way? Like how much we're contributing to society? Just a thought. I feel like this is an obvious counterspell. This is 5 permanents. Partrap says, well, actually, the point of life is to bomb Melfina. You're bombing Melfina. Did the bomb go off? I feel like she's not in here. I'm looking for her character. I don't see her. I don't think she's on yet. You gotta go message her. She sometimes misses the notifications that we're live. I'm gonna go for it. I think they've got a counterspell. I'm gonna go for it. Five permanents, please. 5 permanents. If you please, deck. 5 permanents, please. 5? 5 permanents? Okay, 4, but we hit the Fury. Like, we did go down... Well, we didn't actually go down a permanent. I mean, we hit Omnath with mana. Like, that's... This is not the worst 4 cards. Screw it, let's spread the love. Your fortune's been good lately, looking at my first house with your soon-to-be fiancé. Oh, that's exciting, Bonkers. Congrats. I know, we don't get to use this mana right here. It's fine. Between the fetch and the fountain, should the Omnath live? Ah, I'll keep your secret. I'll keep it a secret. So we win the match. We had a few 4-1s, 1-5-0. I've had plenty of 3-2s and 2-3s though, so I'm not saying the deck's like unbeatable. It certainly is beatable. This hand does have Plea with Garden to get going. I wish it had a little bit less of our producers in hand, because like when we're comboing off, we're gonna clunk. Actually, I remember 2 5-0s. Did we 5-0 twice? Maybe we did. Let's say good luck and have fun to our opponent. Sorry, that wasn't shade. I'm just saying I'm not so used to winning. Oh, well, when I'm brewing, I mean, I don't expect the deck to win for a while. We drew a Dwellers. That's pretty bad. All right, Triome, go. We may have to play out this Provisioner and just let it get killed. Honestly, Provisioner and Omnath want to be like 4 mana and 5 mana, or like respectively. In other words, like to have a land behind it. Like, I feel like against this, I don't even play out the Provisioner. I feel like I wait until next turn. Like, to play this with a fetch land behind it is so good. And they're not pressuring us. Looks like they're controlled to me. Looks like Esper control. So I think we have to go on the mid-range plan. Oh wow, they're missing land drops. Yeah, it looks like we're on the mid-range plan. Let's get something that complements the garden well. Like vents makes sense. You want to start playing modern just so we can get paired? That'd be funny. Alright, Provisioner. They might be in the I'll counter anything you play status, and like I have 2 Omnaths behind this. Do you think they're going to Blood Moon us? They're not playing Lurrus, so it's very possible I'm about to get mooned. Although I feel like even when it comes to blue-red Murktide, their blood moons are in the sideboard. Oh, it's just a weird build of Living End. It's as for Living End with featuring counter spells. Okay. We can't lose. All right, here we go. White. Omnath? You want to counter this too? My guess is that they're a build of Living End playing Electro Dominance. Would be my guess. Sure. I have 2 more Omnath where that came from. Blood Moon me. I thought that might be coming. I mean, we can keep playing Magic, though. I can suspend a Glimpse. And then when that gets countered, we can Dark-Dwellers. Well, it looks like there's some form of Electro Dominance, though, to me. This might be a Cryptic Command. I shouldn't have played out my land, because, like, well, it was the forest that I played out, so I wouldn't be able to Provision. Yeah, Provisioner is too precious to spend here. They want to snap heat my plant token. Sure. A lot of our decks still casts despite Blood Moon, despite the fact that we're a 4-color deck. I actually have both of my only basics that aren't affected by Blood Moon already in play, so like, you might be sitting there thinking like, oh, Bruce, look at you drawing all these multicolor cards. I mean, yes, but like, this Glimpse is about to go off. They bolt us. Architects, I'm thinking, is just for Delirium, to be honest. I think that this is just Blue Moon. I think it's just Blue Moon, and the Architects of Will threw me off. It's here just for Delirium. They're here just to try to turn on their Unholy Heat. Because it's creature artifact. I feel like Bauble is still a more mana efficient way to do that, but to each their own. I've played Architects of Will in the past in like a Delirium deck. Go ahead and float. Or actually, I shouldn't float. I'm assuming this is getting countered, right? I shouldn't float. Yeah, I shouldn't float. Because I don't have another instant in my hand anyway. I didn't mean to float. I should have let this go. Because I was going to get to untap and Goblin. That was a foolish play on my part. Yeah, I think we lose now. I didn't mean to float there, I think. Because I'd already locked it in. Alright, we're dead to Snap Bolt. Saying let's concede here, but let's think about it. If I hadn't gone for that, if I'd just gone for, like, could I really have played through the Blood Moon? Yes and no. Blue Moon is not a very prevalent deck. It is rather unfortunate for us to run into it because our deck's a wonderful 4-color pile. I think the Rockrick plan is a good idea. The problem with the Rockrick plan is it's a little bit vulnerable to Blood Moon. I mean, I have this Borderpost, which is helpful against Moon, but I don't know if we'll have enough room for this. We want the Ricochets. We want the Wear Tears. Let's cut the Barbarians. Although Barbarian, well, Provision already gives us colored. We're not as vulnerable to Blood Moon as you'd think. I don't need the haste either. Although I like this when I'm playing Rockerix. I could leave that in. Alright, Bonkers. Hey, thanks so much for the support. Thanks for tuning in, friend. I will hopefully see you around. I could see us cutting a Plea and running one more Dweller. Drop one of the little cards I'm shuffling. I'll keep in the Ascendancy because we just brought in the Generals and they get along well together. Should, but who knows? Okay. 4s, 5s, 2s, tap lands. I mean, of course, we're going to have trouble against Blue Moon. They hit us in 2 angles, one of which we're not normally hit game 1. We certainly will get hit by the counterspell angle. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the angle of them going after my mana. And unlike something like Living End, where, okay, so if you're playing Rhinos and they're up against Permission, they have permission of their own to jam the Rhinos through. When it comes to Living End, their deck cycles really well, so they usually cycle to more Cascaders. They'll cycle to more Cascaders than we would see. Our plan B, if we run into a lot of counter magic, is just to kind of try to run through them. This hand does cast the Agent because of Cavern. This would suspend a Glimpse as well. I'll keep it. It's a little vulnerable to Moon. We might draw the White Source for the Wear Tear in time. Opponents might have Chalice on 0 or Void Mirror as well. So the Wear Tear, you know, them keeping makes me wonder if they have one of those pieces. Now, if I wanted to suspend the Glimpse sooner, but I want this tap land not to affect me. Oh, actually, Needleverge is a White Source. Let's not forget about that. So maybe we'll choose for that to be white. Drew a Ricochet Trap. Okay. Yeah, so this is essentially our blue source for Agent, and then if we want it, this is my white source for Tear. That would mean instead of suspending the Glimpse, but that's probably the right thing to do. That's a new emote for you, Partrap. Ascendancy. I kind of just like Suspend Glimpse. I like taking game actions that don't play straight into the counterspell they have. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to leave up the Ricochet Trap was because of Archmage's Charm. I would love to take their draw too, but I think that's a little vulnerable. Okay, so they just have Snap Opt. It's actually from Hyperscape. Oh, that's random. Yeah, it's just Blue Moon splashing, or playing the Cycler to help facilitate Delirium. We've drawn a Triome. I mean, I don't quite have enough permanents that I want to just go for it, do I? I don't think that I do. We just want to not make the same mistake that I made last game, right? Like, I don't want to float all my mana. I don't have instants. Like, I really want to go off in my main phase. I don't really want to go off in my upkeep anyway. Like, this Suspended Glimpse is just bait, and Control is the archetype that it's fine that it's slow. They may have to discard down here. They're at 8 cards unless they have a land. We're not as bad of shape that it might look like. In as bad of shape as it might look like. So they dump a counterspell. So I'm assuming what this is oh, what is that really scary counterspell? The one that like counters all of my glimpses all at once. They have a Remand. I think I'll let this go, honestly. And then I fight here. I don't want my forest to shuffle away because they're a Blood Moon deck. I'd rather shuffle away the Cavern. You dig? I dig. Should I play around Mindbreak Trap? I know the can't be countered for Shardless is pretty irrelevant. I'm gonna leave the Raugrin up. I feel like we're gonna have to fight through more than just another counterspell. It feels like there's also a force over there. I wish I'd tapped differently. Maybe I could have also left up Suspend Glimpse in addition to Trap and Wear Tear. So I want to guess this. Looks like this might really be going off. I don't know. That's not true. I don't know that yet. I can't. If I choose to float and they have the force, I feel really stupid. Looks like they don't have the force. This hand's not doing much. I hit a bunch of Provisioners. I mean, I can hit my opponent with my Provisioners because I can put the Temur Ascendancy on the table, but this hand's not doing a whole lot else, folks. I mean, it's not dying to a Blood Moon, which might very well be in their hand. Although I feel like they had opportunities to Moon. Maybe they just didn't want to pull the trigger on it. I feel like they'll pull the trigger on it now, and I've got the Wear Tear in hand. That's one of the reasons I shocked. By the way, this is a ton of treasure. I should make some of this into food, which I will. Oops. Blue, red. Ascendancy. I wish I had gone off with the Outburst, right? These plants would have attack damage right here. Maybe I should suspend this Glimpse as well. We have plenty of treasure. I could have cracked one of the foods, I suppose, with that, but we're hitting them for a reasonable amount. Put them to 6. I mean, imagine this is like Cryptic Tap, Cryptic Tap. Just convert these plants into life, I guess. I hit the play set of Khalni Garden. I've never seen that before. Yeah, so my guess... My guess is that my team is going to get tapped down with a Cryptic here. I can't imagine they're doing anything else. Or they're just dead. Alright, they're pretty open here. If I have something, let's cycle into something. Another trap. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have, in response to the Cryptic, tried to... Well, if they're choosing tap creatures mode, Ricochet Trap actually doesn't help me in that situation. Like, this helps us against Dovin's Veto. This helps us, like, we can draw cards with our opponent's Archmage's Trap. Like, there's some cool applications. This is also red, and therefore pitches to Furies, which we're playing some Fury. So there's a lot of reasons why I like Ricochet, but that's an instance where the other counterspell would have been better. My opponent shocked. How shocking. I mean, they're not going to burn us out. I made some food along the way. I probably should still get the island due to them being a Blue Moon deck. They want to fight over this? Going down to 3. Okay. We'd love for us to hit, like, you know, Rockerick or, you know, Omnath or even just a Dark Dweller. Like, we have so many juicy draws, even without the Ascendancy. I mean, they have to fight over this Glimpse. It's a window for us to eat all this food. Most of it. Oh, wow, they decided not to counter that? That's a mistake. I would have definitely countered that. What's left? Omnath. More Omnath, so let's say Elemental. I mean, unless their plan is to try to get me on clock, I guess. Like, they're just dead to an Omnath trigger right here. We also hit the Ascendancy, so, but they would die to the Omnath deals 4 damage for first. Why did they not counter? We know they had a counter. They just put Snapcaster back in their hand. Were they just curious? Like, had they not seen this deck before or something? Maybe they were just curious. Well, you know what they say. Curiosity killed the Blood Moon player. The Blue Moon player. The Ricochet Traps look pretty good there. Rockerick is pretty good. Doesn't die to any of their removal unless they're playing Command. I actually like this configuration. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Let's run it back. By the way, it's storming outside, so I may lose power. Like, lightning. I see lightning. A lightning storm. We could keep this hand. It doesn't Wavesifter, but it does have the Wear Tear. It does have the plan of General. It does have a White Source and Wear Tear to fight over their Blood Moon plan. I'll still play out a tap land first. Maybe I should do some F16 to make it seem like there's nothing I can do. I mean, does me playing Needleverge as Pillar give it completely away? That we have this? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, the way that you're fetching, sir, suggests that that's a Blood Moon. But, okay, maybe not. True Agent. It's not like this Needleverge was, you know, gonna be snopped. I mean, at some point we need to be brave and just play out our generals, right? Or try to develop a cascade plan. They're considering remanding this, I guess. You know what? Maybe I should have gone for maybe I should have gone for Hallowed Fountain because I had Mountain in my hand, and so it looks like they've got the counterspell behind this. So I may be out of luck. So that's the remand they were considering using on the Sifter. I don't have a ton of outs, folks. We might just be toast. I mean, we do lose to Blood Moon. Our deck does, I should say. Oh, or maybe not. I'll save this mountain for if we can get the Provisioner out. This is like making me wish that I was playing more Borderpost. I was playing a 2 of, and I slimmed it down to a 1 of. And yeah, I mean, in a matchup like this, I'll wish I had more copies. I do wonder if we just no-feared the Rockrick into play, what that would look like. What that would have looked like. This probably kill my plants. I assume we've lost this. And, I mean, like, this is the kind of deck that should punish our deck, right? Like, we should get punished by a Blood Moon deck. I would hope that that's the style of deck that punishes us. It's not very popular, thankfully, in the meta. But it's a fan favorite. It's floating around. I'm not, and that's not me saying it's not good. I'm just saying it's not popular. I'm just saying it's not prevalent. Just to be specific. All right, there's a Ricochet Trap, but a little too late. Little too late. They bolt us. Oh, you know what? I could have redirected that bolt to one of their snaps. Because if you're hard casting this, it's not specific to blue. I'm curious what our next draw would have been. We won't know. I mean, I can grab it, but there's a possibility that this went off. I doubt it, though. They had 4 cards. But I would assume that's what we lose to. So we took down a very prevalent, very popular Grixis Lurrus. Round 1, we played against a very niche, but very fun, especially for those of you that like that archetype. Blue Moon. Not sure what our opponent's on, but if it's something that's vulnerable to Fury, hey. Good luck, have fun. All right, Marsh Flats go from our opponent. Marsh Flats do nothing. Is that Stoneblade? Probably not. Looks like Esper Control. So we do find 3rd land drop. I'm kind of inclined to just Sifter. They have a Shadow of Doubt. That'd be sweet. Is that what you have, good sir? A spicy, spicy Shadow of Doubt. All right. If I don't shock here, I can't Seasoned Pyromancer, so actually I should have considered shocking. I'm gonna shock now. Looks like Esper Control, folks. Could also be Bring to Valky. Looks like Bring to Valky. Maybe not, though. The Savai Triome suggests that there's something else. Not exactly sure what's going on over there. Yeah, I mean, with no information, we may just want to Spyro. I'm guessing the Fury is weak. Hallowed Fountain go. I'm actually going to keep the Fury. I'm not sure I know what they're up to. We'll go to combat. There's no guarantee that this is going to resolve. I don't even know if that's what I'm supposed to do. I might just want to play Provisioner. It's got to be like Bring to Valky, right? We should keep attacking before we try to go for it. I mean, I think I'd rather get my Omnath counter than the Agent, right? Or than the Cascade. I do imagine Omnath might elicit a response. I mean, I feel like we're already at the point where they have to consider sweeping. We rebuild pretty nicely. I can crack a couple clues. I'm assuming that's what's going on over here. It's just some form of Bring to Light. But, like, where's the green, though? Right? Huh. Are they just blue-white control and they're just using triomes? But, like, this triome suggests that they're not. It's 2 colors off unless they're Esper. Then the Savai makes sense. It could just be that they want really big... So what am I casting here? Or am I doing nothing? I guess I could be content to play... What guy says it's just Esper control using triomes. Yeah, I know. It's just like... it's possible because, like, the Savai is white-black for them. Raugrin is blue-white for them. Okay. But, like, the triomes they've chosen doesn't even get them into another color. Or the 5th color for ending. Usually you see a split that allows them to cast Prismatic. I'm just going to cast a Sifter. This is more mana. I will take it. Like, what they need to do is sweep, right? Do you think that they have force? It's possible they have force. I won't attack if we're going for this line, which is just try to win. Do you think they have force blue card? Looks like they don't. Okay. Yeah, so it's just Esper control. They played a bunch of lands, a Snapcaster, couple paths, right? Path, snap path, and a cryptic, and we killed them. Just like that. Now, Esper control sometimes does have a few Thoughtseize out of board. I don't think we can afford that. What do you guys think that their hate for the Cascade decks looks like? General Ferrous seems good, although it's Esper, so they'll have some outs. They'll have other sweepers in, etc. Yeah, I think I like the Rockerick plan. I'm excited about these Ricochet Traps. They're an Archmage's Charm deck. We could, instead of them drawing 2, we can draw 2 when we're at a bit of a standstill. This is a land. We wish we'd seen it against Blue Moon. So yeah, I can cut a glimpse when we bring in the Rockerick plan. I can cut some number of Spyros. I can cut a Dwellers too. Just because there's a good chance they'll bring in some graveyard hate. I like slimming on Dwellers a little bit. Now, do we want to bring in stuff to fight over their stuff? I'd rather use the Plundering Barbarians instead of Spyros. We can cut the Ardent Plea. It's our weakest Cascader. So do we want to make room for some number of Wear Tear as well? Like, do you think that's the angle they're going to go for us? I guess that's my question. Do you think that they're going to have, like, Chalice or Voidmere? Probably, right? Voidmere is more popular out of the sideboard of Esper Control, probably. We're on the draw. I'll keep it. Oh, that's not good. I mean, this hand casts the Barbarian, the Trap, the Provisioner. It just doesn't cast these 2 yet. That's not true. It could cast the Shardless. I think the first card I want to play, though, is Provisioner with a fetch behind. Unless what they're doing next turn is play out Void Mirror. Then maybe I'll play the Barbarian. Damping Sphere, huh? Do I care about Sphere? I can play through Spheres. I kind of just want to stick Rockerick and force them to sweep. Like, to force them to have exactly a sweeper. Kind of like pushing the button. I mean, they could have a multicolored answer. Kaya's Guile doesn't do it because we have the plant. I do like that this deck will naturally insulate things like General from Kaya's Guile, because Kaya's Guile is one of the a more common answer to General Ferrous. Ooh, I have the little Borderpost cutesy combo, the cutie combo. I'm just gonna counter this. I'll actually shock so it allows me to Ricochet Trap. I'm not going to swing into this. Well, no, they can't have Snapcaster because Damping Sphere. Maybe they're considering trying to Snapcaster. You've cast a spell this turn, my friend. Okay, no, they're just grabbing their Triome. They want to get that F6 value. This is sweet. We're getting to see how Rockerick maybe can function. So I could play Omnath. Make a Golem. Maybe I'm overcommitting. They could have Snap Block now. So I'll respect that. Just because he has Hexproof for monocolored doesn't mean he has protection for monocolored. That says Sunken Ruins. The art didn't load for some reason. It's the black-blue filter. Ooh, they have a Drown. Gross. My Ricochet Trap was not open to save our duder. Alright, so they only have 2 cards left. We could just go for it. Like, I can pay for the Damping Sphere. I can't pay for Damping Sphere and also the extra, though. So maybe it's more correct to Barbarian. Let's go to combat with our Golem. I think we'll just kill him with this Golem, maybe. Like, I would have liked to have made a little bit more value off of the General, but... So they had Counterspell for our Omnath, and they had exactly Drown the Lock for General. Unfortunately. If I want to make sure that this Plundering Barbarian resolves, I do need to pay the extra, potentially. I'll break up the Damping Sphere. It's just like 5 mana to Fairy. Jace the Mind Sculptor, better than all. Jace, dunk a... No, they're not going to. Okay. Just Jace, Jace Storm. I mean, I may get them to elicit a response. Like, I may get them to fight over the Golem and the Barbarian attacking the Jace, and then we can sneak the Shardless Agent through. Get it? Because she's like a spy or something. We can sneak her through. You get the joke. You get the joke, right, folks? You get it. I'm gonna save this in case we find more generals. Let's send them both at the Jace. Oh, okay. So they didn't have anything. Shardless? Oh, you know what? I meant to give us both Ricochet Traps. That was dumb. I had the mana for it. Hopefully that doesn't hurt us. Nice. So Ricochet Trap actually stops this, whereas the other wouldn't. I can change the veto target to the Ricochet Trap and it fizzles. Isn't that neat? You can't do that with the other blue counterspell that is prevalent like in Rhinos, for example. Anyway, Elemental, right? There's more Omnaths in the deck than there are General Ferrouses, so we'll name Elemental. Should I try to keep going? I don't know. This is pretty good. This is pretty decent. Like, we've got a General Ferrous. I think I might stop here. Because if I had more Cascaders in my hand, that's a different story. I'm going to say no. And I might not even want to play out this Borderpost just because they might have a sweeper. If what they have is sweeper, I just want to crack clues. I think I might crack one clue already. Yeah, so we'll just hold. We'll hold steady. Make one of their 2 cards have to be a sweeper, essentially. They need sweepers or cryptics. A Stoneforge? Stoneforge and a Batterskull? So they were Esper Stoneblade this whole time. Guys, they were Esper Stoneblade the whole time. The whole time. Again, let's not overcommit. Board looks good. I don't know, now that this is what they did, I guess I wish I'd played the Borderpost for value. But they're 12. They block. Ferrous, it's not lethal. They're down to 3. Yeah, patience. We don't want to lose to a sweeper. We want to have some threats after the fact. We win the match. Let's jam. This is a 1-lander, so we're going to mulligan. This hand's better. Probably tuck the Omnath since I don't know what they're on. MTG bot's trying to tell us that they were playing something called blue-green. Does say last seen playing blue-green today. Maybe we should heed that. Just looks like a build of so I'll keep. It looks like a build of Amulet Titan with some spice in it. But Fury plus Outburst with another red card already is a bit of a combo. Let's go ahead and say, hey, good luck and have fun to our opponent. Looks like that might be what they're still playing. Yep. Oh, wow, their sideboard has 3 Swan Song. That's brutal. Brutal. They got nothing game 1, though, for us, so we have some time to set up. Okay, maybe we don't have time to set up. Well, no, they played map instead of Amulet. Do we have time to set up? It feels like we have time, but I know we don't have time. What's up, Partrap? A potato greeting to you, too. Famous last words, right? Like where you're like, oh, I think I have one more turn. I will admit our deck is happiest and feels most safe going off on turn 4. But you don't always have turn 4 in Modern, so. I mean, I'm looking at my opponents, you know, and just knowing Titan in general, like they don't tend to have a lot of main deck interaction. We are going to be facing off against their Swan Songs post-board, though. I was thinking of doing an after-show part trap, and we'll actually have time tonight. Well, I don't know. I am an MTG streamer, so why would I stream something else, right? But, I mean, sometimes it's fun to play other games with you guys. Uh-oh, they have a Dryad. Oh, Dryad but no Amulet. Okay. Alright, let's try to go off. So we have to make a choice. I think we should go off with the extra. Like, I think we should toast the Dryad. Do Slay the Spire. This game is similar. The game I was thinking of doing is similar to Slay the Spire, Part Trap. Alright, with Fury still on the stack. Part Trap demands Slay the Spire. Might be correct to blow up the map since we're fizzling. Unless I need the mana. I kind of need the mana, don't I? Oh, no, I have enough mana to go off with Agent next turn. Let's blow up the, let's blow up the map. Like, yeah, we do fizzle here, but did we? I mean, we have a lot of permanents. Like, that was a good initial start. Oh, no, I can keep going. What am I saying? We might go off all the way. Oh, I should have produced the, I should have made the extra permanent then. Human, because there's an agent in my hand? No, we have plenty of colors. Elemental, probably, is the name. We're good to go. We can keep going. This Dark-Dwellers does fizzle. That's okay. I'm my own bot command. Command has been added. All right, well, we can't keep going after this. This is it. This is the end of the road. This should be the last one I need. Like, there's a reasonable chance. We have a lot of permanents here. Reasonable chance that we spike the haste piece and hit them with enough stuff. Like, look how many permanents this is, right? Here we go. We are officially out of gas. We didn't hit it, though. But we hit a bunch of draw. I'll say elemental still. No, I can keep going. It might be correct to hit an outburst. How many are exiled? There's one in exile. I'll hit the outburst. Just so that it turns on other Goblin Dark-Dwellers in the future. Stack, 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 stack. Oop. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't tend to create treasure to try to, but like against Titan, it's worth us going fully off or attempting to go fully off. And yes, my version is so greedy of this deck to only have the haste, the thing that gives our creatures haste, and I mean, and the Omnath damage. But hopefully, I don't have to go through this many triggers. The Omnath triggers are very easy to go through once they're on the stack. It's the Provisioners that will time you out. And I hit double Provisioner here with... And I didn't crack any of those permanents, and I may have wanted to crack some. So you need to be careful about that. Clock is real potential. Has real implications. Alright, let's go ahead and always yield. Alright, now let's click through all these treasures. I may crack some of these treasures. Like, I don't need this many permanents to go through. Actually, I'll draw first before glimpsing again. We'll draw with the Wavesifter draw. We've also got 2 Omnath draws. Do I want to thin first before those draws? It might be correct, too. It's going to generate a lot more stuff, though. But it's probably correct to thin before. I'm just trying to spike something that's in the rest of the deck. Granted, the odds aren't great, so is it really worth? We're looking for the Ascendancy, basically. I did just draw into a glimpse, though, so that's dangerous. That is the danger of trying to do what I'm trying to do. Now that's one less glimpse. We have a glimpse in the bin. I have a glimpse in exile, and now I have a glimpse in hand. There is one more glimpse in the deck, so we're okay to do this. Let's float a bunch of this mana. Yeah, not this many permanents. I think what we should do is just hope to hit the Ascendancy. They're only at 14. I'll lose so much clock if I have this much stuff, right? I guess I don't know like what factorial of, you know, what amount of permanence that we truly want to hit the thing that we're looking for. Maybe it's this many. Which I'm sure, like, sure somebody in chat is like, isn't that counterintuitive, Bruce? But it's like, well, I don't want to time out though. I'd love to spike. All right, there's the Ascendancy. Perfect. I do have to survive these triggers. There was still a lot of triggers. Do I recommend that you guys play my build? No. I think I should have maybe... I mean, if Ascendancy is what I like because of its wombo with General, like, I guess I could play 2 copies. But it's the Provisioner that makes this take so long. Yeah, I'm glad that I cracked a bunch of the treasures. We're sitting at a nice 45 life. We're going to attack for a bunch. Only 16 minutes left on the clock, though, for the match. Hopefully my computer doesn't go down because there is thunder and that might make the internet go down. That would really stink. We also get the Anthem, not that we needed it. Go to combat. Attack. We'll put them to a nice, healthy -27. So, Titans, and this isn't just from them either, like, this is a relatively popular sideboard plan lately. Just kind of neat. Is the, I guess because all they really care about is mostly beating, so it makes sense to me why this is their sideboard plan. The Furies just go after Dryad, which it's important to hit Dryad, but I'd be better off with Wear Tears because these hit Urza Saga. Ingot Chewer also hits Amulet. So we do have some cuts. I'm not into the general Ferrous plan at all here. I think that's kind of cute. Barbarian does go after their stuff, but I think it's just too slow for going after their stuff. My Magic Online is crashing. Uh-oh. But we're live. Huh. I crashed our Magic Online. It's okay. It was probably time for us to reboot it anyway. I think the Glimpse deck does put a lot of stress on Magic Online anyway. Oh wow, we still have a minute. Good. All right, so I do want to make some changes. I want these. I want those. I want this. Don't want these. Oh, it's not letting me cut the Plundering Barbarian. This Barbarian's bugged. That happens sometimes when you have a sideboard glitch. I'm not off the Cascade plan, so I'm not cutting... Or I don't have the Ferrous plan, so I'm not cutting this. I'll cut a Provisioner. I'll cut a Glimpse. Ah, it's not letting me do that. It's going to make us run the 61. Okay, understood. Oh, but then here it says 60, so I don't understand. It did actually move the Barbarians into the board. Okay. Couple of traps, a Sifter, some build-up. This seems good. Drew and Omnath. Not great. I like this configuration because we haven't cut any of our mana producers. Going after my graveyard, huh? Okay. If I had Artifact Destruction, I'll spend it here. If we draw into it, we draw a Glimpse instead. Okay. So that's one Glimpse just down. There's no Spyros in right now, so that's unfortunate. All right, let's sift. I'm in the habit of putting the Evoke on the bottom of the stacks because of the synergy potential with Violent Outburst. You might sometimes get to do that with Sifter. You certainly get to do it with Furies. They decide to go get Expedition instead of Amulet. If I draw an untapped land, I could just go for it here. They're not acting as if they have the song anyhow. Well, that's not true. This could be song right here. I've drawn so many of my Ricochet Traps. I feel like I should crack a clue and try to hit the land drop so that we can Shardless with Trap behind it. Ooh, EE on 0. We're going to lose a lot of permanents. Well, that's maybe game, folks. I drew 2 of my 3 glimpses just now. They're almost to Valakut status already. One more land and they're going to start having Valakut. I drew an Outburst. Opponent says, oops. Gonna say no because I just need a permanent. This sometimes happens when you play any Cascade deck, not just ours. Like this can happen to a Living End player where you just draw into all your Living Ends naturally. Yeah, the EE is unfortunate, right? Like if I have like a heavy, Garden Sifter draw. Yeah, we can sometimes be pretty vulnerable to a, especially if I'm not drawing a lot of land. We can be pretty vulnerable. I mean, we're 24 mana source deck. It's not like we're not running enough land. We're playing 24. So 23 lands, and one of them is a Borderpost because we're playing General. So it's not like I'm not playing land. I have 24 sources. We left in the Cascade piece, right? Or the haste piece? Yeah, we did. Land? Just can't hit land. I mean, if they go to shoot the agent, we probably just got to go for it. They grab Summoner's Pact. Okay. They're ignoring the agent. They went face. Face is the place. Okay. I mean, there's one last glimpse in the deck. It's not like we should concede, but it just looks really grim dark, right? Looks bleak. Yeah, face is the place. Oh, face is the space? Hey, what's up, Locorin? How's it going, Nick? I've been doing all right, Nick. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, this game just did not turn out for us. I'm just curious what we would have glimpsed into, Watch them just counter it here. Yeah, our hand is indeed unfortunate. I have a bird. We knew about these. Happens. There's our 4th mana source. So they showed us Graveyard Hate. So it looks like they brought in They may have brought in a lantern. So it looks like they're bringing in about 4 cards for us. So do we also want the barbarians? Well, I feel like I should certainly... I almost would rather go in the different direction because, like, that screwed us over, right? Maybe I should never go below the 4 glimpse. That's not true. I'll go down to 3 glimpse when we bring in generals, but I hadn't brought in general. Like, my plan was still to glimpse. So that was probably foolish. We knew we needed these because they have a bunch of swans. That seems to be their sideboard plan for decks like ours. I maybe don't even want this many dwellers because it's hard for us to fight also over the graveyard hate and also tag amulets. I don't know. Could see us cutting another dwellers or 2 to play the barbarians. Because the dwellers won't matter if they have a piece of graveyard hate anyway. That logic checks out, doesn't it? And they usually have amulet in their opener. I'm really surprised we haven't seen a single amulet from our opponent. We did beat them game 1, Nick. So we got that going for us. I might even consider keeping this hand even though it has a glimpse in it. It's got the wear tear. It's got healthy land drops and an outburst. I'll keep this. There's 3 glimpses still in our deck. Ah, the Amulet of Vigor. Chamber. Okay. Trap. I'm gonna go ahead and suspend this. We don't have Fury in, so I don't see why not. I should have cracked this before. During their end step, I should have cracked it. Drew Forest. So they're not cracking the map yet necessarily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they could Titan. If they push the docket, like if they push the dollar here, and we have to go off, we'll have the Ricochet Trap behind it. Doesn't look like they're going off this turn. Looks like they're looking for Talaria West. Yeah, Amulet Titan's a lot better since Saga. For sure. Also, this sometimes gives the illusion that we're going off a turn slower to my opponents to suspend the glimpse. Like, it may have looked like they had 1 more extra turn when that's not really the case. Oh, man, I could Omnath into fetch and to go off. That's so tempting, right? Oh, you know what? We won't have double red. Or no, we will, because I can use the Scalding Tarn. Yeah, I say we go for it. Yeah, we'll have red. I mean, it's only a 3 of out of their sideboard. It looks like they didn't have it anyway. We may just still be dead here, though, folks. I do have another draw with this Omnath. The Dwellers are on an all-time low, right? No, I think they're all just in the board. No, there's 1 in. So technically, I should shock. Because I might hit that Dweller. It's usually correct to make the mana. We have plenty of mana. Mana's not the bottleneck now. It's just action. Drew into another Omnath. I mean, I could draw 1 more card deep. Ooh, wow. Wow. I hit the Outburst. We're going to keep going, folks. Going to target Glimpse. Although there's Ascendancy. Do I have nearly lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, we have lethal. Right? Don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we have lethal, so I'm going to say no. Anthem my team, go to combat, kill you. Yeah, Temur Ascendancy made it so I could stop early. All right, let's go back. So we're 3. I could see us making that swap. Sand's not great. Doesn't cast the Spyro. It would cast Agent. I mean, we are on the draw, but I'll mulligan for a better hand. This is about the same. This is technically a little bit worse, but at least it casts the Spyro. Oh, it doesn't cast Spyro. I mean, it has a Provisioner. I'll keep here. Talking Omnath. Botanical, huh? I want to save as many fetches as we can because of the synergy for Provisioner. Alright, so it's Living End. I do want to set us up for this Spyro. They'll probably be going off before I can get the Omnath or the Dark Dweller into the bin, right? Good chance that they go off right here. Let's just grab this Foundation Breaker right now while I'm thinking about it. I don't want to forget. This will make basic forest a little bit better for us, essentially. So we may see them in response to my Spyro go off. But maybe not. But very possibly. Oh, they didn't. What do we want in the bin then? Maybe we don't want Dwellers in the bin. Maybe we want Omnath Tireless Provisioner in the bin. Maybe that's better. Drew a Barbarian. So they're going to go off, but they're going to give me an Omnath to work with. Looks like we weren't going to see a Cascader this game. Draw a card, though. So they're going to arrange our top so that we don't see what we need to see, obviously. We get to see 2 of those 3, though. We can pretty safely assume that the thing that we need is deeper. I mean, there is Spyro blocks, so like none of these are trampling. None of these are flying. It's 12 plus 3. Not lethal. Cavern, huh? What can I do? I can flashback Spyro for multiple blockers and try to set up for the turn that I could use the Omnath and also a fetch. That's what we really need to do, isn't it? Is to maybe just flashback Spyro to live a turn, and then the subsequent turn we'll cast Omnath. I mean, we lose every match game 1 if we can't find our way to a Cascader, so it's not a big dealio. Like, if we don't see it, we don't see it. Doesn't matter if they're Living End or something else, we'll probably lose. Unfortunately, I have to block across the board here. They could have another Brazen Borrower and we're just dead anyway. So, there's that possibility. They could have a Stomp. They could have a Borrower. They are going to let us proceed to block. They might have like Hardcast Subtlety for my Omnath idea. Maybe I was supposed to play the Cavern. I guess I could have played Cavern, but I think Subtlety... Yeah, Subtlety gets around Cavern. Doesn't matter. Oh, we drew an Outburst. Okay, so we drew Outburst. Well, if they had Brazen Borrower, I already died, right? Yeah, I already died if that's what they had. So I just have to hope that everything else resolves. They can have like a Force. I could be playing into Force, but I won't have the mana next turn anyway. Yeah, I'm probably playing into a Force right here. There's not much I can do about it though, folks. But I'm probably just playing into Force Negation. I also only have 6 permanents, so this isn't like a guaranteed we're going to go off. This looks like Force to me. Fury's okay in this matchup because you can get it into the bin relatively easily. This is not a matchup for General, unfortunately. Living End has a bunch of different ways that it looks these days. I mean, we didn't see Grief from this player. I'm pretty sure that's stock, though. I feel like it's very rare if a Living End player isn't doing the Grief thing. I see a couple decks here and there that aren't using Grief. I mean, our opponent didn't show us a single bit of black mana, but it's just too common. So I'll go ahead and board as if they do actually have them. And then as far as... They're not really doing anything to hate on us except for Force. So I'd love to get in both of these pieces, actually, and not bother with the Furies. It doesn't really do enough anyway. Cut my weakest... Provisioner's actually a little bit... I'd rather have Omnath before I'd play Spyros. We shouldn't cut a glimpse since I... Yeah, they're not going to go after my graveyard. I should cut here, I think. Can't cut any Cascaders. That would be silly. You know what? I'll cut one Dweller. I will. I'm going to go greedy and still play the Plea. Alright, here we go. Leyline lands. Beautiful hand. I haven't personally seen builds not using Grief. Like, they use Grief and they use Force. They're pieces of interaction. Which in some ways makes them a better... And the deck also just cycles very efficiently through itself, so... You know, Street Wraiths and all. So it's a very good Cascade deck, Living End is. In some ways, you know, it's kind of the combo Cascade deck, arguably. Let's play this out. I don't want it slowing us down later, because I can still Sifter this way and then... Yeah. And there's a couple different ways for me to go off through Force, right? I can just go off during their turn or their end step is another way to get through Force of Negation. Drew Cavern. Okay. Sifter goes to the bin. Very happy in the bin. I mean, Cavern allows me to go for it. I probably should play out Cavern. Like, I have the right colors to go for Outburst. If I go for it now, they could Force. If we do it during their end step... Now, obviously, they're thinking the same thing. Obviously, they want me to go for my Glimpse before they go for their Living End. But... That's kind of another unfortunate way that our two decks line up poorly for us. Ooh, we've drawn into a glimpse. That's not good. So this is them going for it. The problem is if I go for this, I lose to a force. If I just draw one, like we have plenty of clues. I could crack a clue and find my way to just another red source and we can beat at least one force negation. And I have a block on the Waker if I want. So Sifter feels good in this matchup because you get to reuse it. I think that's a good exchange. I think that's a good idea to block. Be it 5 instead of 12. I think that's good. I don't know, it's tough. Like they can beat us a couple different ways, right? They can just go for Living End. Plenty of Ricochet Traps. That's not the issue. Our bottleneck is mana. I am wondering if their build just doesn't have the griefs. Just looking at their mana. Maybe they don't have it. I mean, like, we sometimes get flooded on green mana because of the place at a Khalni Garden. It happens. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to back this up with the Ricochet Trap. And it probably is going to be relevant. Looks like they have force. They're just deciding if they want to hard cast it or if they want to pitch a card. Oh, they have Force of Vigor. That's not what I expected. So you're saying there's a chance. I can do some blocking. I could also make a food. Like even the first food would let me block a little bit differently. Like we probably have to consider blocking Waker, but I don't think I have to block anywhere else. I do have Omnath, so I'm not sure if I should have cracked there actually. That was probably wrong. I just wanted to generate more treasure before I say sayonara to the Provisioner, but that was maybe incorrect because the extra mana from... Oh, it's just mana. We already have tons of mana. Actually, I should just go ahead and commit to this then. Down to 5. There is no more glimpses. I was about to say there's one more glimpse in the deck, so we have hope. But nope, deck decides to... draw us into the last glimpse. Alright, well. I'll Omnath. Drew an Outburst, it doesn't matter. I mean, I can suspend a glimpse, but I feel like I'm going to die to what they already just have. I have better blocks than I did before. Slightly. Provisioner probably has to jump here. We eat this, take that damage. Yeah. There's also the double block, the Riverwinder. And spend all my treasure to eat all the food? I don't know. So they do have grief in. Okay. We just first time seeing it. That's fine because I actually didn't have another glimpse, right? Actually, no, all of our glimpses... No, yeah, I went greedy. There's one more in the sideboard. All right. So let's... I think the double block, right? I mean, yeah, this gets blown out by... I feel like they would have already used it if they had it. They were pretty aggressive with their borrower earlier. So this is 10. So I have to eat 2 foods. So we go to 1. Yeah, the Waker of Waves can just work you over. It is that good. It's a very expensive cycle, but I mean it's also like got that, you know, that deck manipulation aspect to the way that it cycles. So I think it's worth it for their deck. I'm drawn into another Omnath. Okay. Ooh, that was a good draw though, wasn't it? We're more interested in the life points than I am the mana. Is that ambitious to go for the attack? I mean, I'm gonna hopefully be gaining life off the Omnath again. Nah, I shouldn't go for the attack, because if they finally do have the Brazen Bar where I just die. We're holding out for this glimpse with 2 ricochets behind it to work out, right? Nah, I should have attacked. Well, nah, I don't think I'm supposed to. Like, we're hoping we get to block and kill the Architects, and that we just gain life to make the Waker not matter. I think that's what I'm trying to do anyway. If my fetch goes wrong here, I won't be able to gain enough life. I should have seen if my Misty Rainforest fetching goes through first before I tried to do this. That's not true. We'll fetch this and we're gonna get another what? Nah, I'll only be able to crack 1 food. Maybe I should just throw this under the bus. I should have seen if the Omnath was gonna gain me life again before I went for this. I think now, unfortunately, I have to just do this. It looks like they didn't have it. I feel like they would have already used a Brazen Bar if they had one. Right? It's pretty likely that's the case. So we go up to 8. Kill that. I mean, they're going to be looking to Living End again soon. I mean, I feel like their plan is to Living End after I Glimpse again, right? Is that their plan? To wait till my Glimpse goes off and then they want to go for their Living End? Or they just want to do it now? This board is a little bit easier for us to deal with. That is kind of the peculiar thing about Living End, is like sometimes your opponent's decks have good cards in them too. Like ours has some cards that like to enter the battlefield again, right? Like, is their board superior? Yeah, kind of. Kind of. Alright, Glimpse ticks down again. Garden. Alright, so we're going to play the Garden. We certainly got a lot of latent life points. Like a lot of life points should we need them. Another food token, another food token. I want to be able to crack some of this food, don't I? I'm not just sifting again. Now, Living End has 3 Living Ends. Most builds will have 3. So we only have to survive 1 more. So I can get the Grief off the table. I think that'd be good. So in the upkeep, it makes sense to float it, right? We're hoping this resolves. We're banking on this resolving. We have 2 Ricochet Traps to back it up if they have Force, right? Like, we're really hoping this goes off, aren't we? Let's float correctly. And I guess if they still win this counter war, we'll eat some of the food, maybe. Maybe they're just going to let this go off. I doubt it. I think they'll fight. Wow. Okay. They decide not to fight. They may not have had something to fight with. We're still in our upkeep, so there's only so much I can do. I may just want to draw some stuff, right? Nah. We keep going. We can do this a few times if I've left in... How many Dark-Dwellers did I leave in? Just the one of? Wow, just the... No, that's not true. Most of them are in, so I could keep going a few more times, maybe. I'll say no this time, though, right? Yeah, we say no this time. And we're going to draw a bunch of cards with the clue. Oh, no, I could keep going. Another glimpse. Their team is tapped out. I mean, I'm just looking for... I'm digging for the haste piece, right? So I think I just don't draw at all. I think I just want to... I mean, I'll still float. We just want tons of permanence and just to hope to hit it, right? Hit the Ascendancy. We do hit it right here. They're dead. No. They could have another Cascade, though. Like, they literally might just have another... Living End. I guess I can't know till I go to combat, right? Unfortunately. There is one more Living End, so... This is not guaranteed, folks. We do get to drain them. We do gain a bunch of life. I mean... Hey, what's up, Equinox? The life thing still doesn't work as it should. Oh, we win. Sweet. I'm not doing anything like try to blink the Omnath anymore or anything of that nature. The life gain on Omnath, though, still doesn't work, I think, as it's supposed to. They did show us Grief. We got away with just 3 Dwellers and 3 Glimpses. It was close, though. Yeah, Living End is tough. I mean, the Furies probably should be in. I just don't know what I cut for them. Some number of these probably should be in. I'm not sure what I could... Like, maybe I could cut a Plea. That's crazy. That was we just suspended this glimpse and it went off in time. That's pretty crazy. Can we cut a border post when the General Ferrouses aren't in and we're on the draw? Maybe we can. I'm trying to think of all sorts of little greedy things we can do to slim the deck up. I don't think I go below 3 Dwellers, 3 Glimpses, though. I'm just trying to squeeze in as many Furies as I can. I mean, like, the purpose of Fury in this matchup is just so that you just want to dump it and get it into the graveyard so that it comes back and kills the things, right? Maybe since we're missing a whole Cascader and all this other stuff, like maybe I even cut one Provisioner. Since we've already cut so many of the pieces to the engine. Well, speaking of engine, we're on the draw. I still don't think I should keep a one-lander in this deck, right? Like, yes, it has the Leyline. I realize it's nice to think about that. You know, they're a grief deck. Like, in this hand, they just grab the Outburst, but I'll keep here. We're probably toast here, right? Like, if I got Fury into the graveyard, it's just going to kill that Curator of Mysteries, most likely. Like, it's just not enough. I mean, it comes back and fights their other threats nicely. But it won't even do what we need it to do against this Street Wraith. Yeah, they're griefing, so I won't be able to Fury. I mean, I guess it might be correct for me to do that. For me to just... Like, they'll take Outburst here. I mean, yeah, I can get the Fury into the bin, but... I don't know, folks. How are you doing tonight, by the way, Equinox? I appreciate you coming in and saying hello. How are you doing tonight? Yes, we can sift. Okay, actually, we've got a plan now. So I'm just trying to get the Fury in the bin and the sift. Sift in the bin as well. Oh, I fetched wrong. Duh. I meant to grab Forest. I just killed us, I think. I didn't mean to grab the island. I meant to grab the Forest. So, on this living end they're doing, we should have gotten back more than just this Fury. We should have also gotten the Sifter back, and from there we could kind of start to build out our permanents. That sucks. That really stinks, folks. I did totally intend to cycle the Sifter. Because Raugrin was our blue source. That sucks. It's unfortunate. I think even with me doing that, we still probably lose. But it's close. I can't imagine they let me resolve this. I mean, maybe they're not ready to go off. It's possible. It's possible they're not ready to go off. It's a lot of critters. I mean, we need to draw into another Cascader anyway for this to work out for us. Maybe still no Cascader over there. Or they have Outburst. Well, I think we should just go for Provisioner with a fetch behind it. Our mold is 6 and then getting grief. There wasn't really much more to do. What did they exile on the grief? A living end? Yeah, it's pretty typical. So, like, if we were to play this out, I'm assuming we're dead. If we were to play this out, like, I'd only have to face 2 living ends. Like, I don't think we're going to survive even the first one, though. To be honest. To be perfectly honest, I don't think we survive even the first one. Let's be efficient as possible. I think I'll probably... So we're going to lose the Provisioner, but we gain the Fury. They do get to stack the top of my deck. Can we kill 2 things? I only get to kill 1 things, huh? Should probably kill a flyer. I mean, I'm assuming I'm not even going to live through this, right? Like, I kill a Curator. We block the 2 biggest things. I take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16. Good games, opponent. So our only losses that league were Blue Moon, which is not... Which, I mean, no offense. Like, we're also out of meta. So I do say this with all the respect. But Blue Moon's also, just like us, out of meta. So we lost to something outside and something inside the meta, and everything else we faced tonight was something I'd expect out of Modern. I think the 2 Foundation Breaker will make us better against random Blood Moon decks. I think because we can fetch the basic.